All right, hello, hello. Sorry, had to get some of that fresh coffee. You guys know how it goes. I was like, yeah, definitely needed some. Um, all right, so hold on one sec. Oops, sounds good. Cool, thank you. Trying to get all my settings set up here. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Sorry. All right, so markets, not too much movement, right? Euro dollar, little different from yesterday, down 14, not anything blazing. Pound is leveled out, right? 11.28. Still, euro pound is down, 21. So not bad movement there. Dollar Swiss 3.37. Everybody and their brother was worried about what the Fed's going to say today. Bullard had some great comments this morning when I was dropping the boys off. Um, I was able to listen to it a bit, and I think it made a lot of sense what he said. He said going into every Fed meeting, we should be discussing whether we're going to raise or lower interest rates, and that's not just that's not the case right now. The case is how much more are we going to raise it, so that pretty much dictates what we're going to do. Thought it was a very interesting take on it. Makes sense. But obviously today, one of the things he mentioned is everybody said it needs to go above 5, and um, you know, we need to do what we said we're going to do, and then we'll kind of see. So I was like, oh, all right, sure, that works. So the market was I mentioned yesterday inside of Discord, and I forget who it was, but it was somebody from the bond market, and the bond market said, yeah, we readjusted months ago. We knew what was coming. The Fed said what they were going to do. All the data was suggesting, and then we adjusted, but the stock market never really paid any attention. And this is something that we've talked about lately. Not lately, but the last couple of months. You know, the market only believes statements or data when it supports their belief that the market's going to go up. Right? Whenever there was data that suggested that things were bad, that were going to be bad, the market's like, nah, not real, fake news. We're not listening to this one. Right? And it was just like they were completely just ignoring some of the data and the facts because it didn't meet what they wanted to see. Um, Now they're kind of paying the piper, and what this gentleman said was, "Listen, bonds adjusted, and we're seeing the earnings, we're seeing people lay off, and some of the data is good, but inflation's not great, right? It's continuing to rise. We know they're going to raise interest rates, maybe two more times, maybe even three more times, is what the bond market is saying, and yet the stock market's like, nah, don't worry about it. And now we're having all this discussion about the debt ceiling and stuff. So are they going to raise the debt ceiling? Of course. Of course, they're going to always spend more. They're always going to continue to raise it. But, again, are we getting to the stage now we're going to receive another downgrade with U.S. debt being as high as it is? Um, so, yeah, some interesting comments. But, yeah, again, it just shows you that there is definitely a disconnect sometimes with the overall stock market to what reality is. So, kind of crazy. Excuse me. Yeah, definitely a tired day. Was up at 4 with Kip today, so I was like, oh. Yeah, definitely a long morning. Um, but right now, again, it is day one of the G20 meetings. There was what was it down here? Oh, here's Bullet, right? Right. The U.S. economy is stronger than what we previously thought, right? Bullard will have to go north of 5% to tame inflation. We've got a little ways to go, right? The markets are pricing a tougher road ahead on inflation. My projection is rates will reach 5.375, which is a little higher. Other people said above 5 or 5.25. So it's a little bit higher, right? I still think we can get inflation down while maintaining a strong labor market, which is fine. And now, looking at this, you would say, oh, God, this is really, really bad. But in all honesty, right, Bullard has been the most hawkish. It's not like he's saying, hey, we need to get to 6. I mean, he's saying 3.75, right? Is there a big difference between 3.75 and 3.25? Not really, and that's what other people have said. And yet he's been the one that says we need to go bigger. We need to go bigger to get this under control. And now we're a year and a half down the road, and we're a little over a year, from the time that he said that we should start raising, and we're still battling it. So again, my vote is still that Blard needs to take over, as the next guy in charge. But again, this person says hawkish tone. It's like, it's if it was anybody else, yes. But for Bullard, No, not so much. But the market's like, oh my God. No, this is actually quite tame for him. So, I think that matters a lot in looking at this. I saw the piece over here, right? China calls Russia's ties solid as a rock amid Ukraine peace push, right? and Ukraine is like, if you ally with them, it's World War III. Um, where is it? There was another piece in here too. Basically, Russia was the Nord pipeline thing. They're going after that as well. Russia was pissed off about it. I think it was just here a second ago. Where is it? Um, Man, I don't know where it is now. I don't know. I can't find it now. Can't find it. Anyway, it was a comment. Russia was pissed off about the, NATO's or whatever it is, the Nord pipeline thing. I guess it fell out under everything else, right? The solid as a rock was all they needed. But for the most part, not a lot of movement. So we're going to wait and see what happens with FOMC meeting notes today, and I think that'll give us kind of a clear direction of what's gonna happen, right? Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else really that's not really? I'm trying to think. Like, is there anything more here that I'm concerned about? Not really, news wise. Um, like I said, we're kind of just in that wait and see, right? We're just in kind of wait and see right now, and that's really what we're gonna be able to do. So markets are up a little bit, little green, right? Which we said that they would be yesterday. Um, but we'll see what we got. VIX. So VIX is higher, but you'd expect this, right? You may say, well, why is the VIX higher? Well, you know, the unknown, right? And again, the market is like really tense. But right now, I mean, the VIX is at 1.2%, and look at the indices; they're all a little bit in the green. I mean, the Russell's up 0.78%. That's not horrible, right? You think the world is ending. Um, looking at crude oil and natural gas. Just want to say, natural gas finally paid off. It went under 2 for a little bit today. It's currently up right now 1.98%, but it did touch under the $2 mark. So we said it yesterday. It's like, hey, this is going. It's going. We'll see if we can get it there in the next day or two. And then bam, in the overnight it went down. And then at 6:30, or actually I was already awake. It was like kind of like this, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I say, oh, before Brian wakes up, we better go back up above 2 because that's all he's going to talk about today. And that it did. It went right back up again. But right now, if you kind of draw this down to the low, right, you can see that kind of in an area of basing. And again, it's been there before, so it's not like it's like the freshest zone, but it also happens to be the 23.6. So it's kind of like, yeah, there's that right now, right? So yeah, so excited. It's like, yeah, can we stay under 2? Now it's can we stay under 2? We broke it, right? Everything else is a little bit mixed. Gold up 0.04 nothing, silver down 0.33. So we're not really seeing tons of movement considering what we have. The market is very scared, for lack of a better word, right? Scared. Aussie dollar. So told you guys last night. Love the fact that we had both the wage price index as well as all the New Zealand data, right? Said that New Zealand, again, having it come in at 4.75, again, that's a negative, it's a negative trade, right? You're looking to get short on that one. And then the Aussie data, also disappointing that it wasn't up as higher. And there's the news right here, right? News was 7:30, so 19:30. There's 19:30 right there. So yeah, simple 10 for 30, very, very easy. So again, if you guys were here yesterday, we talked about that little Harry Potter push through. Again, it was just a break even its old hit, no entry. Came back up and it said, oh, it stabilized there at 2 o'clock. And then bam, tagged it right for news. So rather easy, right? Where we are now, we talked about a profit target coming down to 68.21. And it did. It came down to 68.21 at about 3 o'clock this morning. Is now reversed just a little bit. I would expect this more or less to go sideways. As I said, all they're talking about is FOMC. They're talking about debt ceiling. They're talking about budgets and downgrading the United States and how many trillions of dollars was added onto the deficit. So none of it was great necessarily comments. It's it's kind of like gloom and doom, right? Tends to be what we see. So we're in an area right now. There is a little bit of a balance. It probably stabilizes. Looking below where this is at, you can see that with price being around here, we are in a bit of a racetrack. So I would say right now for dollar strength coming in, if there is a break below, this break would look to be somewhere around here at 68.10 ish, maybe 68.11, right? You know what? Let's just delete this so I can get one that goes on top. There we go. 68.11. Right there. There's potential for Harry Potter. We got to see if we can grind through and maybe pull back and then look for a big push to the downside. Overall, I'm okay with this because I do feel like the Fed's going to say they're raising interest rates. And I feel like the stock market, I mean, if you look at the dollar's not doing anything, right? I mean, here's where we were this time yesterday, right here. So we went up a little bit, went down, went back up, and kind of came up and went up and went right back down. But I mean, the 9:30 candle is right here. So it's right. We're exactly where we were yesterday, 0.11 down, right? And again, this is since the close, not from where we were. So is the dollar really going crazy? No, but with the dollar driving down right now, typically when we see the dollar start crashing, and again, this is European market was here, popped it up, and then this 530 reversal turned it and rolled it right back down into an area of sellers. So with the dollar collapsing now, it's kind of like it's looking like it wants to be kind of a strong dollar conversation. And I kind of feel like he's going to say, yeah, we're going to raise interest rates next time too, and probably two more times, right? And people are like, you're going to do what? And I feel like that's going to send this higher, at least in the short term. So it's kind of lining up that way right now. So again, yesterday, if you got that one, you made plus 30 in the overnight. Right now, we're looking for this one to go short. I think overall targets down here at 67.66. And again, I feel like if they say that we're raising interest rates, the market's going to be like, oh, how dare you? I thought you were, I thought you were kidding, right? Again, I'm looking for this one to come through first. And again, if you know how to set an alert, you can set an alert to come through on the bottom side. Now, a lot can happen in the next 4 hours, and really we need to wait that time to kind of go that far. We got some room. We got some time. But again, if we can break through base in here, level, look to take this one short all the way down. Potentially, if we can get all the way down, and it's quite a haul. It's 100 pips, but could we absolutely get a 100 pip drop in this one if they say we're going to do 50-50 and then pause? Yeah. I think if they say, I don't know if we'll get as much movement with 25-25, but I wouldn't be surprised if they say we're going to do a 50-25 or a 50-50 and then pause, or a 50-25-25 and then pause. I don't know. A lot of it's going to depend on the data. Like I said, thus far, the data lately has been pretty good. And it's nice that they're saying, it's going to take a while to kick in, but I feel like that's where it's going. So there's some shorts in that one today. Aussie yen. Aussie yen had the same trade. Here's where kind of the overnight was. Again, we were looking for this one to be short. It got out yesterday at about 12:30. That's where you finally got out of this trade here. We mentioned it, and again, just kept basing around it. It was still hovering around that same level right before news. And again, we talked about getting short this one, that Aussie, again, very, very similar to what was going to happen with New Zealand. It did. It dropped down. It ended up bouncing up right off that level, came back up and Harry Pottered right off of it, and it pushed all the way back down again to this 91.81. And that's where we're sitting right now. Has not triggered, and I think this one also kind of coincides. But again, there is some yen overlap in this one. Overall, we're looking for this to come down to 91.44. There is a 50% retracement in here, and again, a little bit of a pullback. So watch that one. But this one is continuing to deteriorate. And again, off news, a little bit hard to trade it news-wise. It was much, much cleaner with Aussie dollar, but we talked about this one going down. And again, pretty simple Harry Potter. Talked about a level. It had been sliced through because of the news, right? Dropped, base, pulled back again. Can draw a little bit of a triangle in there. And then again, look, it started the base, and you're like, hey, you know what? If it leaves, we're taking it. And then boom, it did. And then we're at the second level, looking to push through the bottom. So a couple different trades that you could have taken in the Aussie yen. But overall, we talked about being short, and that's what we ended up getting. Now, euro dollar. So euro dollar, you can see we missed a little bit of a bounce. We talked about it being kind of wedged in between the 107.09 and the 106.13. We're at 10 pips in 24 hours, so not a whole lot of trading opportunity. Got a little bit of a pop at 10:30 yesterday, and that was the peak. It pulled back down again, and then literally until about 3:34, it just stayed in the same area. It dropped down, and now it's in the same exact area after that initial drop. So, yeah, not a lot of movement, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, what do we do with this one? I like this one being on the weak side right now. When I say on the weak side, I like it rallying right now because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for dollar weakness going into FOMC later on today. I just don't know if it's going to get all the way up to an area that we're like, yep, that's great. Wonderful. Love that one. all right. I don't think we can get all the way back up. Hmm. It's 39. We can move 39 and 4. Um, we can move 39 pips in 4 hours. Um, I would be tempted on that one. How much risk is that? 15. Uh, yeah, I mean, I feel like I could be tempted if we can move that far. I mean, it'd have to be basically straight up. We got to get through that 10 and 10:30 time frame window, which could cause a little bit of a problem. Um, ugh. Man, I'd say look for those two right now. That's probably the best we got. I think if we can go into news, nope, not a call out. Price action. You know, if we can find something, if we're here for the FOMC meeting notes, right? Again, it's going to have to take a big rally up, and it's not quite a parabolic retracement, but it's pretty close. I think that's decent. Again, what I'm struggling with is like, oh god, what if we just base right here? What if we're holding right at this 106.60 mark? I mean, you can see how long it's spent. You know, if we just kind of just meander around right here, could you take it short from there? Oh, I guess you could, right? I guess you could, but I really want to see what the Dixie's doing also to see if it coincides with this one. I don't know. I like the 106.94 better, but you could take it off this 106.60 as well. I think either one is decent for this. But again, this is one of those ones that you look at it at 130 and see, hey, listen, where is price right now in comparison to where we could be, right? Euro pound. So yesterday morning we were talking about this. We were seeing this 10 o'clock, and again, the 10 o'clock was literally the reverse on the 23.6, and we mentioned it probably meander around. It did. It came back down, went a little bit lower, right? It went down to kind of use this basing level down here, and that's still kind of what it's stuck in. It's not really moving much. You can see the euro pound in 24 hours has moved about 16 or 15 now, and it's retracing back up again, kind of deteriorating. Not really necessarily any driving factors, as I said. Right now, FOMC is the main kind of focus for everybody, even European traders. Because again, the U.S. raising will also kind of rebalance the world currency at this point. So, we should see it. How far can this one go? I think you got to mention, again, looking at this 23.6 area here, I'll put it down here. You can see it hit it a second time, right? So there was the first one. Here's the second lower one, and it kind of did it again. I'd be cautious with it a third time, but the reality is it didn't go very deep into the zone. There's still a zone sitting there. So if this one pulls up, could we get something? Yeah, FOMC is not going to necessarily move it around, though. It's not really an FOMC type thing, right? So it's there. We didn't see the full retracement on it yet. Yeah, like I said, I think there's bigger fish to fry today, right? Bigger fish to fry. But if you do get it back up in that 88.20 zone, although I think it's very tiny. How much is it? It's 10 pips. Let me see. Non euro pound. Problem is with the G20 is going to mess this one up. Yeah, see, that's all we got. It's all G. It's just G20 meetings. So not tons there. Yeah. Kind of like, do I like it? Do I not like it? Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's not going to be enough. I think we use this as a proxy to figure out if we're going to trade euro dollar, pound dollar, and I think that's going to be the best way to kind of deal with this one. Um, Anymore, it's like you're taking a lot of risk for what it is. Euro yen. So euro yen. We talked about getting into this one at 143.02. It missed it by a little bit. It did come down. It did grab it. Um, you can see we missed it. I hate when it does that. It missed it by like 5 pips, 6 pips. Not, we were hoping for more, but we got less, for lack of a better word. So I don't know. Right now, I think at this point, wait for this one to come a little bit higher. I think if we can push back up into that 143.50 range, there could be something else there. Trying to think, is there anything? Do we like anything else out of that one now? Like, do we take it again? Um, I feel like it's a little bit dangerous, right? Because there's one, there's two. You got to count that one as three. It may come back down again and start basing. I don't know. I don't love that one as much. Because like I said, there's not. Oof. What are we going to get on this one? So this is going to have a yen play in it later today. Hmm. Let's see if we're going to get any help. Maybe a little bit. Hmm. So the problem with this one is we've just been channeling. We pushed ourselves a little bit through the top, which we knew, right? We knew that 144 area, and again, it made it to 144.17 or 16 is the high. Um, Problem is, there's so many buyers down here. Do we look for Harry Potter? It doesn't really have the room to go much lower. I think the 142 level down here, I think, is a decent area. If we were able to get down there for FOMC, I think that's great. As far as kind of getting something short on this one, I mean, if you look at this, there's no really great levels in there. Again, this was decent. Again, it had been front run twice, but unfortunately, when it moved up higher a little bit, the 23 Sixers got in there and unfortunately front run us on that one. I think it will probably tear back down again. But the reality is, that would be the third touch or fourth touch at that level. Do we really want to take that for something as big as FOMC? I feel like the risk is just a little bit too high on there. So kind of want to see where this one goes with FOMC. Like, hopefully there's a lot of yen play and this one just blows through one direction or the other one and kind of sets us up for some new trades for next week. But right now there's no trend, no real movement. It kind of got front run off this one, which would be a decent long. It's got to make it to this 10-10-30. And again, a Harry Potter here doesn't really work. I'll delete this because we don't need it. There's two little hiccups, so it's not anything clean. I think the best long is the 142.44. Pound yen. There you go. I mean, there's your original trade yesterday at 8. It came back up at 10:30, and you can see it reversed and kind of went all the way down again. At this point, we can kind of mark it off and say, hey, listen, there's an area right there, and we can take an area right here and also stick it here for a Harry Potter based trade. 1 to 3 is right there, so you can see it's before the top of the body on the other side. So it's set. It's pausing right now. Question is, again, we are in an area of sellers. Do you take this one short? Again, the Europeans from 530 forward sent it forward. Again, the U.S. session, it's like, okay, what are we doing with it? And it's kind of flatline right now for FOMC. I do feel that FOMC is going to mention raising interest rates, and I think the markets will be like, holy crap, you're serious? Which could lead us to a nice little dollar strength run and push to the downside, right? Which coincides with this trade as well. So if you caught the one from yesterday, again, pretty decent little trade. That was what, 15 for 45? Yeah. And again, it went obviously beyond that. But this is kind of what we're looking for today. And again, I think mark off, right? Mark off that FOMC and kind of see where we are in the next little bit. If we go back up, could you use this one again? I would say, there's probably something in there, right? I'll remove this because, again, it is out. We know that this is an old level, so we'll remove it back to here. But again, we kind of got a test here, a confirmation. So it is 3, but it kind of exploded at 2:30 in the morning off of that level. Kind of shows you that there is, right? There is kind of something going on there. So overall, I think it's a decent spot. So I would say right now, FOMC. Oh God, I did it again. I think if we, for some chance, rally, and again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if that's where we're going to go because we're just flatline right now. But if we do push up, it's only going to take 25 pips. We can absolutely move 25 pips in the pound yen. The 4-hour ATR is 44, so it's well within range of jumping up that high. We'll see what it does after this 10:30 if it can hold or not hold. And if we see the dollar weakness in, kind of should be a foreshadow of where this thing should move. All right. Yeah, so those would be the two that I'm looking for. Pound yen. So pound yen, we talked about it reversing back again. I'd say right now there's a decent little area right here, and you can see, look at it. Boom, 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 boom. It's really trying to break through that level. So again, another little short right here. Mhm. 1 to 3.02. There you go. And whoop, there you go. And again, you can see. Let's see. There's a repop. Needs to be taken. Um, there you go. There you go. So another one, and it's similar. Again, this would be the yen getting some massive strength coming from FOMC, which absolutely could happen. And that's kind of what I want, because if it shoots to the downside, man, it blows a lot of those zones up in the euro yen, which would be awesome. I would love that. I think that would be great, um, to get those blown up. Give us some more things that we can trade. What? Okay. All right. That's all I got here. CAD yen, or dollar CAD. So dollar CAD's really basing around. Dollar CAD, you may have gotten long this position yesterday when it broke through. Again, no entry here. This one, and actually, let's see, like, can I get this out of the way? I cannot. Hold on. Let's see. So we talked about a break coming through. Here is technically that would have qualified for a Harry Potter trade. As you can see, if you kind of put that on there, you made it to about what, 1 to 1.8, right? At that point, you should have had your stop loss up here at break even. If not, you want to kind of bang, basically lock a little bit in, right? Typically, when it goes past 1 to 1, you want to move your stop loss, put your stop loss a little bit ahead, so you can't lose money on the trade. You make just even just a couple pips, it's fine. Bang something in. That's probably where you got stopped out on this one. Right now, it's doing nothing. You can see that it's literally 28 pips in 24 hours. But since that pop that we had I guess we had the one pop here at 9:30, and then it pulled back. That's why it's 28 pips. But once it pops over here at the 12 o'clock window, we're 7 pips in 24 hours from that pop in an hour, right? Because we know that it pulled back down real quick. So not a lot of movement. It's sideways. In all honesty, I want to see this continue to deteriorate down again, because everything else is looking like it's going to be a dollar strength based move at 2 o'clock today. Um, Again, high on the curve, right? High on the curve. So again, most likely, let's remove this one just so we don't confuse people at this point. We're going to remove this. We're going to mark the top off. Again, maybe it rallies back up again, and we have the ability to take this one short. Um, Oops, that's not what I wanted. We're going to put there. There you go. There are some buyers there. Let me check something real quick. There are buyers here. See those buyers. I cannot. That's what we're dealing with right now. Hmm. I hate when candles are like that. Still can't do anything with it. Still can't do anything with it. Now you're like, wait, that one? That just happens to be where it is when I did the hourly. See. So again, dollar CAD kind of up in an area where we're looking to short right now, according to the pure technicals of it. Again, this is, you can kind of see it on a 4. We've kind of refined it down to a 3 and a 1. The risk level on this one is it's 25, so it's a little bit high on this one. Um, I don't even think it has room. Let's see. It may. Oh, it's right there. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So that's close. I think a better bet would be just take the smaller one. Yeah, 12 pips. I think 12 pips is a better trade. Your 1 of 3 is sitting right there, which is before the 23.6. But this one is it's such a dollar week trade. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 hours. I don't have a crystal ball on it. If we do push up to there, again, this is also a potential. And again, if this does continue, if this does strengthen back up again, it should pull away from the other ones. So again, this is going to be one of those ones. Look at it at 130 and see, are we hovering up there? Are we in that sell area? Because again, it is a larger time frame zone, and we tend to like those a lot. So this could be where we pull the trigger for news. Oops. Could be right there. So we'll see. This one may actually leave early though. I kind of like if it. I really want this one just to tank, right? If it tanks, it does give us the entry. I'm good, right? I'd much rather see the dollar long today than the dollar short, but this is really hard to kind of go against. Dollar Swiss. So there's we got dollar Swiss. Yesterday at 9 o'clock, or actually at 10 o'clock, we talked about, hey, you got a level here. It's a kind of an old Harry Potter trade. You can see it pulled all the way back down again, came back up, grabbed it again, pulled back down again to the same spot, grabbed it again, and pushed back down again. So it's all over that level. Kind of the same rationale for what we talked about yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, right now I don't see this level holding much longer. There's not really a whole lot there, but if you look up at the 78, there is a level sitting up in this area here at the 78 for news. And again, maybe this is the same thing in the next hour and a half or the next couple of hours. If we do drive up to that level, you could use that one as a short. But ultimately, I kind of like the 93.21 better. We would have to see a big spike off of about 60 pips. Now, with that said, here's the thing about 60 pips. Okay, the 4-hour ATR is 24. The daily ATR is 77. If we get a single spike up of 70 something pips, like a daily ATR in one candle, and it does tag that level, that's kind of where parabolic retracements are made. So if this one comes in here and we have a candle that looks like that, right? You best be looking for reversals from that level, right? That's not a bad spot, right? Yeah, I think you could take that one on a spike. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like that one. Yeah, I don't have any issues with that one whatsoever. I think that's yeah, I think it's good. As far as the other direction, again, I think we got to talk about getting your buys down here. But right now, here's kind of your top and bottom. Right there's kind of your top and bottom. But is there a trend right now? No, no. So I think pre-news move. I don't like this one as much. I don't think there's a pre-news move in this one. As I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in this one. It should break through the top. There's a little bit of piece at the 78.6. I think look for this one to spike either direction, right? If it goes up 70 or 60 pips, there's a retracement. If it goes down 60 pips, there could also be a retracement. I think this is a wait for the news, see what happens, and then if there is a big move, this is a way to play reversal. I think there's a reversal in either direction on this one. So, and it's crazy that we're sitting kind of right in the middle, right? Where price is currently right now. We're sitting right in the middle. It's the same thing. I just did a copy paste. So we're skirting right down the middle. Oh yeah. Again, we talked about 135 yesterday. There was your trade last night. We said the yen again would get some action. We drew this one saying, hey, listen, we already got a touch somewhere up in here. And again, I think we dropped down to, was it 15? We did that off of? Yeah, we did it off to 15. And we talked about how, listen, if we come up, there could be there. It missed here. It ended up tagging at 19 and pushed down. So it did the move that we said it was going to do. It is basically kind of restabilizing itself right now. I think dollar yen today is going to be very difficult to play. Just because, again, it's the dollar and it's a proxy. So I think you got to be cautious with that. Oops. Hold on. Oh crap. I did it again. I hate when I do that. Hold on, I gotta find my window. Let me close this. My bad. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I hit it. It's like, oh god, it's all missing. If we can rally back up again, I think there could potentially be shorts on this one. I think this is going to be more dangerous today because again, it's not affecting the dollar as much, but I feel like it is affecting um, it's going to affect the overall stock market. I feel like more today, which again will affect the yen more. So again, use caution. We're high on the curve. I think anything up near 135 is a sell. Again, if we spike above, I would assume there'd be some type of reversal coming back again. Um, Again, basically getting some yen. It's going to be the initial dollar response and then the yen move afterwards. So again, and we are kind of in. It's not the same. Again, we're this much from the bottom and about this much from the top. So it is kind of the middle area. It's not as clean as the dollar Swiss. So I think the dollar Swiss is probably the better way to play this one. I just think this one's going to be a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more volatile, right? People trying to figure out really what's going to happen, right? Oh, sorry. Coffee went down the wrong pipe. Does not feel good. Looks like bonds are up a little bit. Mm, Looks like TLT is nothing we need to super worry about. You're seeing the cryptos down back at 23, nothing doing super crazy. This one's popped a little bit, and again, that could be the dollar weakness we're seeing right now. And again, the way the bonds look, it looks like it will turn and roll back to the downside, showing its dollar strength. So that's kind of lining up as well. Looking at crude oil, crude oil is a mess. Talked about this level. You can see we started the base in there. We came there, hit. It's like chop, 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 chop. Popped in, chop, 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 chop. Popped out the top, and we're back in there again. Um, we're at a 6-1-8. It's not a fresh time. It's not the first time we've hit it. We've hit it here, hit it and started the basing. It's not really an opportunity for us to go long at this point. It's just been hit too many times. Um, we know we got some buyers stepping in right here around 70. What is it? 74.83. There was a nice pop off that one. Doesn't meet any fib levels though, but it's sitting. If you're going to draw it, you got to be looking at that level right there. Is that what we're hitting? Yeah, that's what we're hitting. So again, it's kind of hitting the appropriate levels right now on the way down. I would say right now, I think oil inventory is not till tomorrow. It's not a today thing. So this one is not going to have as many factors. I think it's really going to be it's really going to be kind of the dollar picture and whether it's going to be strong dollar, weak dollar right now. And again, commodities overall are looking red. So right now, yeah, we could see a pop off the FOMC notes, but again, I think play it in currencies versus oil today. I would say overall, fundamentally, I think oil starts to deteriorate a little bit farther down, but it's got some levels to chop through. I think overall, the downside target has to be probably down here at the 72.50, right? We've hit the two targets we're looking for. I think 72. I think 72.50 is our next target for oil to the downside. So, like I said, I don't know when it's going to hit, but I think that's our next target. Natural gas, I kind of already did before. That's where we're standing with natural gas. We broke it. We've been talking about it for a while. We're like, yeah, we can do it. Break that two, and we did. We broke two for a while, came back up again, grabbed that 23.6. We're in an area right now where it's like, oh, okay, maybe. Again, definitely an area where we saw some profit taking coming in, and right now is struggling a little bit, which kind of makes sense. Although I think this is basically people trying to take the short. Again, not an inventory based day. This one also right now. I guess there are. I don't know. It's supposed to be like 75 here tomorrow, but I think there's a massive blizzard or something in the Midwest or the Northern Plains or something like that. Is how they described it. I guess. I don't know. Somebody told me yesterday that it's going to be 75 on Thursday here, and then we have the chances of potential snow on Saturday. So don't know how that works, but that's again, it's Maryland. She's drunk half the time. So, yeah, look for a reversal. But again, natural gas should not be a big player today. I think the other commodities and currencies are the way to do it. So gold. Okay, so there's the gold movement. Absolutely zero trend in the overnight, right? Here was our close of business. That nothing in the overnight. We hit 3 o'clock. We got a little pop, a little drop right at the open, and then it just based. And then at 6 o'clock, we started to prepare. 7:30, we pushed back down, and we're still standing in the same base. It's a little far. It would have to drop about $10 in the next 4 hours. Kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot to ask for gold right now with literally everybody is waiting and seeing. where it's at, it doesn't tell us a lot. Just remember that if we do see the Dixie continue to do what it's doing and we get dollar strength, gold should head to the downside, talking about crushing inflation. I do feel that they're going to mention, like I said, some of the comments from Bullard, although people are saying that's hawkish, that's dovish for him. Um, Question is, are we going to get something similar from, the notes today? Right now, based on what we see in the dollar, I would expect this to be a short. Right now, with it going down, it's not kind of matching up with that. But again, is this all the pre-market move that we're seeing ahead of time for a trap? And it could be, right? It absolutely could be. So right now, I would say there's no setup for gold. Like I said, I tend to like gold short for any of these type of news releases. But right now, it's just going back in the same level that we've seen, and really the next level we were looking for was 1822. So again, maybe it tanks in the next 4 hours, but that would be a lot of tanking, right? I mean, I guess this is only 7, so I mean, this is 3 hours, right? I guess that was the 3 hour move. So if we get that 3 hour move down, we could get it, but I just feel like it's really going to get stuck in this area. I feel like it's just going to meander around sideways. So I think the way to play this one, if you're looking to play gold today, look at it at 130. Look to see where it's moving within like the last hour, 2 hours before FOMC, and that's how you play it today. Now silver should be a little bit more volatile as well. And you can see, what did silver do? Came back up, grabbed the same people up here at 22, and pushed all the way back down again. Now again, silver is pretty volatile. We were talking about being down here at 21.58 for the news. Well, we're not far, right? You're talking about 7 cents down. Right, we talked about 21.60. It's at 21.66. So silver looks like it could be in the area. And you may say, well, wait a second. If silver does come down, again, this would be more of a long base trade, right? You may say, well, wait a second, long base, that would be weak dollar. You're absolutely right. It would be a weak dollar based trade. But again, Bullard's comments today, I gotta say, they are technically, if you know Bullard and what he says, those were technically they were weak comments from him. He's always like, we need to go double, we need to go strong. He's like the super hawk, and he's like, yeah, we're not far, we're pretty close, we're getting there, we're almost there, right? One more raise, and you got to see where we're at. I mean, he's talking about basically 2.25 raises, and that's it. I know 0.5 is on the table based off the recent data. A 0.25 takes us almost exactly to his target. Right? I'll tell you right now, once we get above 5, everybody's going to be like, well, maybe we should wait and see a little bit, right? So, and maybe the market, maybe they say that we're going to raise it one more time, and then we'll kind of just see how it goes. That could be taken extremely weak today, and that could lead silver to go crazy, right? So, I mean, it's there, right? It's ready. It's close. We'll see if we can get down that far before news today. It's close. Let's go look at the indices real quick. Let's see. VIX pulling back a little bit. Dollar, again, we're seeing the dollar strength kind of roll back in right now. And again, I'm good with that. I kind of want to see that at this point. Some of the levels out there have been really great. I kind of want to see that now, and that would actually line up that dollar CAD trade really, really well. Again, 0.04, no movement. ES. So ES, again, this is that, oh my God, they're going to do it. So we talked about having potential levels here. Again, the first one, we knew we broke through at 11 o'clock. We saw it right there. So that one is out. We can remove that one. Second one, look at this. You can see it kind of got front run right here at 12 and kind of bounced off of it very quickly. And then it started to do the chop game, right? We got down here at 1 o'clock and we just chop, 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 chop. European market opened kind of here. It pushed it down, and then we played the chop game. We went a little bit lower at 6:30. We pulled back up again at 7:30. The 9:30 open went straight down because, again, I'll tell you right now, was not the rosiest comments that people were talking about this morning on things like CNBC. All they were talking about is, yeah, our debt is bad, right? Debt is bad. We got to do something. Debt ceiling, right? Inflation is still way too high, so that let it down. But with that said, again, we're not there for news. We know that news is coming in right there. Okay. So here's the big question. Ooh. I'm just going to extend this across. Ooh, look at that. So, and again, if you're wondering what this is, where I got that from, it's kind of this old Harry Potter, right? It was a base. It broke it. Base came back and then launched itself off. So we're technically in an area where we would expect to see a little bit of reversal play come in, right? Now, where this comes from. Basically, I mean, again, the stock market is trying to readjust and kind of get used to like, oh God, they're going to raise interest rates. But if we get a dovish tone, like I said, Buller's comments were pretty weak for him. If we follow suit and Powell gives us some really weak comments as well, that should send silver higher, right? Because it's like, oh God, yes, we can have inflation again. And it means that, again, we could be done. That means the market's not going to die, right? That could also lead us to a nice, kind of push over. So, 415 is done, or 4015. I would say this is kind of what we're looking at right now. We may have the potential for this, right? And again, I think it'll be a if it does again if it is dovish, I think it's a nice pop. I still think targets are going to be up here at 461, so let's put that on there as an overall target. But right now, that's kind of what we're looking at for ES. As far as opening print goes, right? Opening print was right here. Okay. Opening print on this one was a little bit weird. Okay. If you're looking for a zone, there's where kind of your test came in, right? 315 is where we're looking in the overnight touch. So this one technically hit at 730, right? Technically it's 730, but there's your 930 hit on there. Okay. This one is like, it's like you technically should have already been in the trade. So it's one of those ones that's like, do you mark it down when we're supposed to be in it? There's where the 1 to 3 goes to, right? Right there, right? So it's close. We knew that we had a confirmation on the other side. So this may have been one of those ones that if you're looking at it, you're looking at a 1.25. Ideally, we always like to do threes, but looking at a 125 puts you right there, which is right where the other test was. So again, this one you were kind of entering early, but if you waited till just opening print, rules wise, it did not have a 1 to 3 range before we hit the other side, but it did have a 125, so you could have maybe shortened it off of that one, considering we kind of already had a little bit of a touch in there. So it's up to you. As I said, the 1 to 3 is right there. I tend not to try to bend too many rules, but it did have a confirmation touch in the overnight at 3 o'clock, and then again, could have used this confirmation touch, but that was a 7:45. It's typically somewhere in the European session that we wanted to do it. So, it was a short. Again, if it continues to deteriorate, obviously, then you won't have a problem either way. But NQ, so NQ got a bit choppier at that 9:15 window, the 9:30. It did give us a new kind of point. So looking at it here, you can say, where's the touch? So you had to kind of go lower or use this as the touch. But then the question was, if I do that, it's like kind of like, well, here's the zone, here's a push deep, there's kind of a front run, there's another front run. Here's a front run. Is this 4 hits? You're like, kind of is. So you kind of got to go up to this one here and use this level. And that's what it looks like, right? Because this means, again, there's a level in here. And you can see it kind of formed a new base. You could have used this one as well. Either of these two would have worked just fine. And again, maybe this is the one, even though it kind of got front run twice. If you're looking for just a single, then use this one. It doesn't matter either way. If you use this, it's the same. I'm not changing the level of risk on it. There's what a 1 to 3 looks like. So you can see we are beyond it. I'm not changing the distance, but if you use this level here, right, for the confirmation here, it's still entered. And again, it's even an easier trade. So it doesn't matter which one. NQ had it on both. You just had to be very cautious. If you got a little bit aggressive, was like, no, look, I'm using that one right there. You had to look at this and be like, listen, there's a touch there. There's a touch there. There's a touch there. This is hit number 4. Kind of risky. And again, did it go out the top? It didn't, right? It didn't. It was still fine. It still worked, right? But I'm just trying to let you guys know that, again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, a little bit more dangerous. You would have wanted to move this one up to get this confirmation in. And this got front run, which is okay. So it would have triggered and it would have been successful on either one that you looked at, okay? And you were fine there. YM. We had drawn this yesterday. Our target of 33, 234, we hit that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and kind of just based around it. And then we closed right down here. So our target got hit yesterday for this one, if you were following. Let's see. What was I looking for? Wanted to run this down to here. Okay, just to keep that on there. As far as the opening print goes, opening print was right here. Now, this one at 7:30 kind of erased a lot of it. There wasn't really any confirmations in here. I would say that the best kind of level was right there. You could have said, well, there's a level right here, and look. But look how much time it spent there. And then it hit again. right? It's like, well, how many hits are you going to count with that one? And it didn't stop it out. So if you did use that one, you were okay, but it triggered at 7:30 this morning, and then kind of went out at 9:30. So you could have used it, but not the best level, right? Again, from 19 all the way to one. So like for like what? 4 hours, it stayed in that zone and then pushed away. And it's like, oh God, I mean, this left. So do I count that as a second one? Maybe a third one? And this is a fourth one? You're like, oh, so it's not great. So on this one, if you did take it, you were fine. I think that's where you really needed to put the zone. There was no confirmations off of it. So YM would have technically given you guys zero entry, right? You wouldn't have got anything out of it. Now the Russell. Now the Russell was up big, and then it wasn't. So the Russell, we had talked about two targets. You can see it bounced off of this one. It started the bounce in this one yesterday. And again, it just continued to deteriorate. So let me pull some fibs on this one. I'll pull this off. Let's get this one from kind of this recent high to the low. So this is what we're dealing with. All right. There's your level. All right. So right here, you have a little red candle. Okay. Now you may say, okay, well, what about touches on this? All right. So ideally, you're looking at it like this, and you're like, oh, I kind of touched it, right? You're kind of there, like the drop, the base, the push down. You're like, well, there's a confirmation, but here's the same problem. You can count this as one or two. That's one. You can count this as two. That would be three, right? It didn't hit it for a fourth time. Well, fourth was actually at 9:30, and it just blew it out. Again, not why we're looking at, you're not looking to take those trades. So ideally, there wasn't anything there with a test. There wasn't really a zone here to kind of confirm there. Really, the next zone was up here, and obviously, there's no confirmation touch off of it. So a little bit trickier. It did hit a zone, and again, we were looking this, and you can say, well, wait a second, there's a base, right? A drop, a little bit of a pullback. We love when the wicks are looking like this, right? We love when it's ascending wicks like that for sellers, and it's sitting right behind the 23.6. So you're like, okay, there's a lot in that one, right? Those are all the things that we're looking for. So had you taken this trade, you are up in it right now. 1 to 3 is sitting right there, right? And again, overall, you want to get your profit out at that level. So did I put that dead on? Look at that. Bam! 1889, 1889. Dead on. That's kind of where you're sitting right at this one. So you've locked in profit at this point. You shouldn't be taking any loss on it. It's got a little bit more room to run. Again, it's got to make it through this 1030 reversal time frame. But overall, right now, the market seems super negative. And again, I'm loving this. I kind of like how it's, the whole market is like, oh, God, this is so bad. Oh, my God, they're going to raise interest rates. And then if they say something weak, we should have a spike to the top side, right? And what does that sound like? You know what? I feel like even if they say there's going to be one more raise to 0.25 that takes us above our target, and then we're going to hold a C because it takes some time for this to work. And they're all worried about this. They're going to hold there for a long time. What if they do, and it doesn't really affect earnings or anything else, right? What if it's not affecting the economy the way that people think it does? It doesn't matter. As soon as they say we're going to pause, that means we're done with interest rate rise. It does. They could say 0.75, and then we're going to stop, and we're going to wait. Once they stop, that means they could potentially lower it, right? If they needed to, right? So I think that type of language today is what sends this higher, right? So right now, Russell showing us this weakness. Everybody's trying to prepare for the Fed being like, we're going to raise interest rates. And again, everybody at that point, when they say I'm going to raise interest rates, everybody that hits that short button, it's really kind of looking right now that there could be a massive trap today and a nice spike up in price. Like I said, Bullard's comments, very, very weak, right? And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're like 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and the market just goes through the floor. But I don't know. It would be very odd if Bullard was the voice of Dovis region, right? I just find that very difficult, right? He's been so aggressive the entire time. I don't know. Find it difficult. All right, so that's where we're at. Again, look, this one looks like it wants to go down. So as far as entries go today, again, you got one here. And again, it's already starting to bounce off that zone. God, I wanted you to stay there. It probably comes down. So again, one and you're out on this one, right? NQ, one. And again, if you did hit it, it doesn't matter which one. Either one of them, you're out. So again, 2 for 2. YM did not hit. Again, if you did get into the one down here, again, you're still live. It's still in profit. But again, my opinion, you shouldn't have got in on that one. And then as far as Russell goes, again, Russell was not our traditional kind of test because it had hit way too many times. It was more of a 23.6 kind of fib, kind of dual combination. And you can see right now, it looks like it is officially out. It's painting higher and it's dark green already, and it's not moving with it. So you're officially out on that one. So you're 3 for 3, and all 3 of them hit full profit target for the morning. So there you go as far as opening prints go. All right. With that said, that's it for today. Let's go ahead and do our drawing. The man, the myth that won yesterday was like, "Hey, listen, it's Wednesday. I can't win. I'm not even entering." He's not even here today. So again, we all know how this works. If you don't play the game, you can't win, right? Right? If you're not playing the game, you cannot win. So again, I feel bad for Eki missing today, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Debbie's back. Debbie, we missed you yesterday. Debbie, are you in California right now? Are you on vacation? Like, am I completely on crack? I swear that somebody said that they were going to be gone or they're going on vacation or something like that. I thought it was you. You weren't here yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, she's in California. I swear. I was like, huh? And then I saw you today. I was like, wait, Debbie's here? I thought Debbie was on vacation. And again, I could be completely wrong. I can't say that I'm not somewhat sleep deprived with having Kip. I'm on 2 coffees and up at 4 o'clock this morning. So, All right, closing it down. Debbie's just ignoring me. So, no Eki. So, we're not going to have a duplicate win today. No, I'm babysitting my son's dog. I was like, oh, she's babysitting. Oh, and then it's the son's dog. I guess that could be crazy too. That's okay. I joked yesterday. I was telling you guys. So the Great Dane has been really like we now have a boys' bed and a girls' bed, right? So Jin is sleeping with Melissa in the twin bed. Well, Millie the Great Dane now also wants to sleep in the bed with them because the boy drives her nuts. Unfortunately, he just won't leave her alone. He like pulls her tail. I mean, she's been so good not nipping back or anything like that at him, but he just drives her nuts. So yeah, so the Great Dane, 100 pounds, with Melissa and Jin are all in a twin bed now. It's really, really funny. And I got Kipster with me, who man flus it every day. Anyway, winner of today's drawing is, wow, look at this, Mr. Ty. Although Mr. Ty did have 4, right? Yeah, Mr. Ty did have 4 tickets. So what was his chances? 33%, not bad. So he beat the odds today. He played it. He used 30 pip chips to make 25. So not the best use of pip chips out there, but he was trying to get in. Maybe he has a long game, right? Maybe he's banking on winning again tomorrow, which makes up for today's kind of negative thing. Again, everybody's got their own, everybody's got their own method here to, let's see. Whoops. Ty, are you down here? Where are you at? I don't even know where you're at on here. I'm going to have to type the whole thing in. Nope. I'm going to have to type the whole thing. There you are. Position 102. Where are we at here? He's on sheet number 5. Well, you'll be on sheet number 4 after this. Number 102. There we go. Give you your 25. And again, there are different methods on how you can manage. Yeah, way at the bottom. Yeah, there's different methods of how to get back up there, right? Get out the rally towel. It happens fast. Ask Neuro. It happens fast, right? You start winning 100 and then 250. You're tacking on 350. You're not super far behind. And again, if you buy Neuro's online book, he has an ebook PDF download on how to hack the system, right? So there are 2 books, right? Ernest has one and Neuro has the other one. So anyway, watch for today. You guys know what's coming. All right, click my all. We're gonna get some fireworks, right? Ongoing. Oh, here you go. Markets are listening. Everybody's talking about it. We're going to get some fireworks today. Again, I do feel there'll be fireworks. I feel like the market is just so hypersensitive right now. Watch your positions. Look at 130 to see where it's going to move, and then play it from there. Be safe and everything, guys. Make sure that, again, if you do have profitable positions on, there's nothing wrong with shutting it down and sitting it out. The worst thing you want it to do is there to be something we didn't expect. Gap past your stop loss and lose more than you're supposed to lose in a trade. There's nothing wrong with closing it down on a release like FOMC today in the environment that we're in. So with that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Good trading today. If you need anything, shoot me a message on Discord. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow morning. You guys take care. Have a good one, and I'll see you then.